Today we'll be presenting some initiatives related with Sustainable Development Goals applied to Habitat Marte. That is a research station based in Rio Grande do Norte state, in northeast of Brazil. One question is how Mars analog research stations would be committed with Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals was proposed by United Nations in 2015 to be operationalized starting in 2016 until 2030. Where examining the experience of Habitat Marte. In this case, Habitat Marte is based here in Brazil. When talk about Brazil, sometimes we think about rainforest, but we have rainforests only this region here, and we have many different environmental ecosystems. In this case, we are based in the corner of South America here, in the Rio Grande do Norte state, is known as Caatinga or semiárido, in this region here. This is an average of a sample of the temperature there. We have some variances about Fahrenheit and Celsius there. This is a typical image of the countryside of this area. It's possible to say that we are a semi-arid region, then some parts of the year we have rain there, and this area like this becoming green. And some common problems is that we are living there is water scarcity and not recovery of water reservoirs, 80 years of drought, the ruin of some economic activity, etc. This motivates, we create the nucleus of research, engineering, science, and sustainability of semi-arid. We started with some initiatives related with use the waste to redesign the rural place, and we are using doing some green construction as a start point to build a better place to live. Some practical actions developed in this region was we built some houses with plastic bottles, glass bottles, some artificial reservoirs, and we are also trying to create a place to visit and develop some trainings in there. Here we have some images of the initiatives related with sustainability developed there. And this is the house done with plastic bottles. We have a house made with long necks. And we have received students from different cities and from public schools in different ages. The people visiting this house made with long necks. We had received, we are transforming a small museum. This is a image from the landscape. You can see very dry, without raining. And then in 2016, I was doing a postdoc in Florida, and I was looking at the spatial or aerospace activities in Florida. And I was thinking what kind of activity I'll be doing in my state. And I visited the Kennedy Space Center, and I have contact with Mars Desert Research Station. And I saw that we would be applying this similar idea in my state. In my city, in my state, we have some initiatives related with space. We have National Institute of Space Research, Launchpad, Rails Barrier. We have universities like UFRN and IFRN, foundation to support research, and Brazilian Space Agency, and airport. And in this case, we have some initiatives related with aerospace. From this, we had the idea to create the Habitat Marte, okay? And we have some objectives like be a motivator for science, technology, engineering, and math, be an educative place to educators and students, to find new knowledge related to STEM, develop technologies related with water supply, food, shelter, and clothing applied to Mars and arid Earth regions, be a place to develop technology to be operating Mars and supporting the habitability in the red planet, identify possible outcomes to be developed in Mars research stations, establish partnerships with worldwide space research groups, be a place to encourage new scientists in terms of new communication skills, creative thinking, and collaborate with communities and families of Caiçara do Rio do Vento, and be an organization to support new Mars research stations, international space agencies, and also be an active player in the debate of agenda for sustainable development goals. Here is the facilities. We have around 6 square meters. We have a dormitory and research room, the compression chamber. We have a closet and restroom, and the entrance. This is our plant. This is one image of the Habitat Marte. We have a greenhouse here. We already received some students there visiting, and we are communicating about science, technology, engineering, and math. And we, until now, happened five missions in our model. In the first year, these missions is operating during weekends. And next year, we'll be operating larger missions, like 1 week or 2 weeks. In these first missions, the crews are also supporting in the creations of the life support systems of Habitat Marte. This first mission was in December of last year. The second was in January. And the second mission was interesting because it was the mission that we discussed about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And this research is results from that discussions. The third mission was in April, and the fourth mission now in July, and the fifth mission now in August, in last weekend. In this case, some results related with the 70 Sustainable Development Goals related with no poverty would be stimulate the municipalities and neighborhoods produce organic food and shared spaces in food cultivations, encourage initiatives on sharing objects, foods, and equipments, stimulates participation of the missions to engage support local poor communities. Zero hunger, we are proposing a guidelines for combating hunger and promoting sustainable agriculture. Related with good health and well-being, we are proposing some initiatives to better quality of life in the research station, like practice physical exercise regularly, take exams periodically, maintain food without excess, other aspects like introduce meditation, avoid stressful situations, and other aspects. Associated with the goal 4, quality education, all the Mars research stations, education will collaborate to create new competencies necessary to operating activities in Mars habitats. The Habitat Marte is committed to be an educative place and to educate the students where they might be able to discover new findings related to science and technology. We are trying to transform this place in a place of motivation to people be interested about science, and some students be interested in develop scientific careers. And one question important is how space and Mars education would be shared. We consider that it's important to invite schools and universities to visit the Habitat Marte, promotes lectures in post missions with the participants of the cruise, share the learnings of missions in lectures and congresses, related with gender equality. It's important it works with girls teaching science and showing opportunities of scientific career. Here is Daniela, who participated in the last mission. She's a student from on management. It's also important equality in distribution of tasks between participants without distinction of gender in the missions in Habitat Marte. Promotes the participation of girls in the missions, also lectures and courses, encouraging them to seek opportunities and STEM. Related with clean water, the conception of Mars would be working as a closed circular system, would be considered the use of water of the sinks. We are developing filters to reuse of sink water to be used in the greenhouse. Other important initiatives is communication and education about safe water, use body wipes for dishing, limited water, use the personal mug, try to let almost possible clean dishes after the meals, be quickly when press flush mechanism, short showers every day, storage of rainwater, storage use of water to reuse. Related with the goal 7, it's associated with clean energy. We are proposing some program of energy efficiency, use solar panel, turn off the equipment, maintenance of heat system, review electrical installations, and other aspects. Related with goal 8, decent work economic growth. One important question is how space and Mars would be acknowledged to promote decent work and economic growth. The research done by scientists in Habitat Marte would represent better jobs and opportunities. We consider that the people committed with the space field, they would have more opportunities in the market. Related with goal 9, we are searching to identify how the research done would be applied to innovations in new products. It simulates how the technologies developed would be applied in space exploration. Goal 10, reduced inequalities, search for established international cooperation with international universities, MDRS, Mass Society, and others. It simulates Brazilian students' participation in MDRS missions, support Mass Society Brazil, prospect opportunities of fellowships and grants to Brazilian students. Associated with sustainable cities and communities, develop social technologies, organic agriculture, hydric management, guidelines applied to communities, and also associated with responsible consumption. Some actions is recycling policy to buy from local producers, actions of responsible consumptions, document food and water consumptions during the missions. In the Habitat Marte, in the end of each mission, the waste produced is destined to recycling companies. The goal 13, related with climate actions, shows and promotes events about how Mars studies can be helpful to environment and operationalization of recycling policy. Related with goal 14, it stimulates research links on space and oceans. Goal 15, life on land, invest in recycling, encourage links between space studies in regions affected by climate change. The goal 16, peace and justice in strong institutions. We are publishing our reports in the IVA, EVA, and research developing in the website. This is a good way to share results related with space, Mars, and environment. This is our website that we are sharing some results. And associated with the 17 is important to develop partnerships with international institutions. This is the just resume that we are doing related with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We are also presented our results in some conferences, local conference and a conference in New York, Bremen, here, also in the Mars Convention. We consider that it's important we had some presentation like this to share some ideas. And we need support. We have a monthly cost like $500, not so much money. But for us, it's also important guidelines. If the audience would help us with some guidelines, some tips, or donations, or maybe if you send us some support email letters, if you are representing some institution, if you send us a email, presented some support to our initiative is also important to us. And this is my Twitter, and this is my email, and everything is welcome to us, okay? Thanks so much for your attention. I'm worried about the time, and we have, if possible, I can answer some questions related.
What is the general knowledge of space in Brazil?
We have a Brazilian agency, but they are more focused in launchings. It's based in another state. We have 2 launch sites in my state, Rio Grande do Norte. Another state is called Maranhão. We have these 2 launch pads, and we have we are the oldest country in South America doing the launch pads, launchings. But during the time, doesn't happen enough in investment, and then we have other countries with more velocity in development of new technologies related with space. And then this is an initiative associated with the university. We have students from the university participating, but we don't have any special financial support by the government until now. But it's a new initiative. We start in December, and we are communicating about and try to find some help, some support to our initiative.
Is there much in the way of institutions like engineering institutions that maybe have aerospace programs in either Sao Paulo or Rio?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll be committed with them. If we have some contact or the name of this institution, we can make some contact with them and talk about and present our research station to them. Until now, we had 13 members participate of these missions. Okay, but
What do you think is the leading engineering program for space in Brazil? Where is that located?
We have just a few institutions. We don't have postgraduated like masters and PhD. We are trying to create in my university a master's program, and then maybe a PhD, but we are waiting for the answer about the acceptance of operation this master program. But I believe we have a delay. We don't have many things researched in terms of space technology. Most based, there's some scientists studying about climate science using satellites. More researchers based in this. Now, in September, will happen an event of UNOSA, United Nations Outer Space Agency. They will organize an event there about satellites. And then I was looking, we will have like maybe 7 or 10 Brazilian presenters during this conference. Okay. John?
I don't know much about Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
South
Yes, maybe we need to present what we are doing into another centers, like big universities, because we are very well known in my state, but not in other states. Then we would be strategic travel and present some what we are doing to other universities to invite the students and the researchers to come to be part of the missions. Yes. Okay, it's about the time. Okay, thanks so much for your attention. Okay.